Tonight on TNT, Cleveland and Chicago Game 2. As the series opened Tuesday night, Michael Jordan collected his MVP hardware and then showed everybody in a blue uniform why he got it. Mike had 33 as Chicago took Game 1 by 14. And unlike the rugged Knicks series, the Bulls found room to roam in the opener. The Cavs have drawn fire for their perceived passive play, and Lenny Wilkens has promised a more aggressive tack tonight. Again, Cleveland will look to Brad Daugherty on the offensive end. He had 23 Tuesday. The Bulls may have center stage, but the Cavs want to give him the hook. It's Game 2 at Chicago Stadium. The conference finals continue on TNT. And a good Thursday evening, everybody. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta, along with Dick Versace. Playoff time again. The Eastern Conference Finals, the Bulls and the Cavs. Cleveland catching a lot of guff after Game 1 being soft and that kind of thing. How different will they be tonight?
Well, Ernie, when you see the rhetoric being bandied about right now, it means that the Cavaliers are going to be kind of inspired. Things like courteous but creamed Cavaliers, and they should go get a bunch of purses and chase the Bulls around. I don't think that sits too well with Lenny Wilkens and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think we're looking for a real hotly contested game tonight.
A little more aggression out of that bunch tonight. On to the coaching news. Yesterday it was Dan Issel in Denver, Rudy Tomjanovich in Houston. Now it is Ron Rothstein, the new head coach of the Detroit Pistons, guy you used to coach with.
Yeah, Ronnie's a good guy, but he's stepping into a pepper pot. Dennis Rodman comes out and says, hey, I don't want to play for you. I don't want to play for the Pistons anymore. So I really believe that the true Ron Rothstein won't be appreciated till he gets players, gets them in training camp, because that's when he's at his best, when he's coaching basketball players.
And tomorrow we expect to see Gary St. Jean to be named in Sacramento to take over for Rex Hughes. St. Jean, a disciple of Don Nelson. He's been an assistant to Nelly in Milwaukee and Golden State, and he's learned from one of the best. In fact, this year, he was the best. Don Nelson today was named the IBM NBA Coach of the Year after leading Golden State to a 55-27 record. That's an 11-game improvement over a year ago. The presentation was made today in Oakland by IBM's Frank Elliott.
Well, on behalf of the IBM Corporation, it's my great pleasure to present to Don Nelson the Red Auerbach Trophy as the 1991-92 IBM NBA Coach of the Year. Don, congratulations. That's for you.
I feel that this award is given to the coach whose team probably overachieved more than any other this season, and I feel that ours did that. We won far more games than I or probably anybody else anticipated.
So Don Nelson wins the IBM NBA Coach of the Year award for the third time in balloting by sports writers and sportscasters. And boys, they know what they're talking about. Coming up, the tip from Chicago. Dick Versace and I will be back at halftime. We're going to talk with new Lakers head coach Randy Funn. But right now, settle in. It's Game 2 of the Cavs-Bulls series. It comes your way live from Chicago on TNT.
Along with Hubie Brown, this is Bob Neal. Welcome to Chicago for Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Championship Series at Chicago Stadium. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls got Cleveland in game number 1 by a score of 103-88. Cleveland limited in their scoring once again, one of the higher scoring teams in the East. And it's no secret that Cleveland has struggled against Chicago in the last 17 games. They've only won 2. Let's specifically address game number 1. What went wrong for Cleveland?
Well, first of all, Chicago played a perfect game. They dominated the shooting, rebounding, assists, blocks, steals, and the entire game was spent in the open floor. Now, from Cleveland's standpoint, in spite of all this, in the middle of the fourth quarter, they're only down 7, and the best foul shooting team in the league goes to the foul line and misses 4 out of 5 foul shots. Now, the game started out rocky because in the first quarter, Price and Daugherty had 6 turnovers, totally uncharacteristic for them because they're the 2 best passers. Now, this enabled Chicago to get out in the open floor and go 15 for 20 at one time. Now, also, a lot of open shots came about on the perimeter. Price had a great game, but the other 3 guards struggled. They were only 4 for 14. And also, Bob, you got to get Daugherty more than 13 shots.
Now, they've been talking all week in the Chicago papers, including the Chicago Bulls, that the Cleveland Cavaliers are soft. Chicago came off that tough New York series. Let's address this. Is this a soft basketball team?
I don't think it's a soft team. It's just their style of play and the potential of their athletes, how they play within their framework. Now, you look at this ball club, they won 57 games. You can't do that in the NBA unless you have a great ball club. Also, we know, along with that, the two bully teams in the East are Detroit. They were 3-1 with Detroit. New York, 4-0. But what they must do tonight is keep Grant and Pippen off the offensive boards. Both guys combined 11 offensive rebounds, too many easy second shots.
Let's talk a little bit about Pippen. Michael Jordan got his 29 shots and his 33, but Pippen was the key, I think. What about Cleveland and how they handle him?
Well, this is a tough matchup, Bob. Mike Sanders is giving away too many inches. Pippen's on the offensive glass. And then when they come big with Williams, Nance is too slow to play Pippen in the open floor. Now, with the penetration of Jordan, double teaming by the big guys, the ball goes up on the boards, they're at a disadvantage. They must get guard rebounding in this series.
And we also learned from Lenny Wilkins today that we may see more of John Battle in the guard rotation. In just a moment, we'll come back and meet the players and get ready for the tip-off in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Championship Series. Along with Hubie Brown, Bob Neal from Chicago Stadium. They call it the Madhouse on Madison Street for Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Championship Series. Tonight's Jeep Eagles starting lineups, and this is how the matchups will get underway.
Well, we said in Game 1 that this series will be won on the corners because Jordan, Price, and Doherty will get their points. So far, so good. Pippen and Grant definitely dominated their foes in the first ball game.
Michael Jordan had his 29 shots and 33 points. Jordan, by the way, is playing tonight with a sore throat. He was resting, even trying to nap a little bit about an hour prior to game time. However, he says he does not think that will cause any problem with his performance tonight. Michael Jordan leading all scorers in the playoffs. He's averaging 42 points a game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers in 10 prior playoff meetings prior to this series beginning. And Scottie Pippen just missed a triple-double in Game 1 by 1 assist. Brad Doherty needs to get the ball more in the post and a little more active. Only 13 shots for Doherty in game number 1. Hartwright and Nance will jump it at center court. 239th consecutive sellout here at Chicago Stadium. And the Cavaliers come away with it. Everybody expecting a more intense performance from the Cavs tonight.
Well, Lenny Wilkins was very disappointed in the early shot selection. He did not like the lack of movement. He does not want them to stand around.
Craig Elo gets his first one to fall. It was with 1 minute left in the game when Craig Elo scored his first points in game number 1.
At this end, we know the famous triangle offense. When the ball comes back to the top, you have to watch for the cutters cutting through or two-man basketball right here.
Cartwright going into the middle, not this time. It'll be Cleveland ball leading 2-0.
Anytime that the Bulls get into the painted area with the great shot blocking of Williams and Nance, what happens is they'll go for the shot block and then they leave the backboard wide open. The guards must come back and help.
4-0 Cleveland as Doherty scores.
That's the same guy that we were saying, get him the ball in quarter 4 because they cannot stop him, no matter how many guys they use at that center position.
He hit 10 of 13 in game 1. 10 to shoot for the Bulls. Price on Paxson. Elo, the nightmare job of guarding Jordan.
Now that play that was just run was wide open for 3 quarters for the Bulls the other night.
Cartwright had to shoot it from the corner as the clock ran down.
Another offensive rebound. See, that's a bad sign. They've got to get in and put their bodies on people.
Grant's turnaround doesn't go. Pippen not blocked out with the rebound. He had a team high 12 the other night. Elo sneaks in and gets it for the Cavs, up 4-0. Chicago is 0 for 4. Offensive foul on Doherty.
Wow. Tough call. Grant definitely stepped out and put the forearm into him and knocked him off balance. The referee right here on this sideline Danny Crawford never even blew his whistle. That call was made by Garrettson down on the baseline.
Elo makes the steal on the entry pass attempt to Michael Jordan, and the Cavs come back. They're leading 4-0. Chicago hasn't hit a field goal yet, 0 for 4.
There's a back screen for Doherty down inside. See, they're not going to double team. And if they're not going to double team, then Doherty will get off a good percentage shot every opportunity.
And he'll hit that shot more often than not. Chicago looking for their first field goal. Mark Price knocked it out of Michael's hands. Then deflected from Grant to Price.
4 on 3.
Elo steps up, blocked by Pippen. What a play.
Great play.
Price cut him off. That's Mark's first foul of the ball game.
Now that was an excellent foul because Price was determined not to let him get airborne, and now they'll take it on the side. Now just watch the head fake. Good, but you have to like Pippen. Pippen and Jordan are the masters.
Both of them made the first team all in today. Jordan from 14. Still Chicago cannot find the basket. They are 0 for 5. It's 4-0 Cleveland with nearly 3 minutes gone in the first quarter.
Now in the early going, Cleveland looks solid right now. No turnovers. They're taking their time. Nice pass.
Grant with the foul on Doherty that time. And Doherty will go to the free throw line. Free throws were a place Cleveland had a problem the other night. They missed 7 free throws. They missed 4 out of 5 down the stretch. And Brad Doherty was 3 of 4. Normally an excellent free throw shooter.
This young man has just blossomed. We said one of the reasons is the loss of body fat. He's gone on a good diet and weightlifting. He's 11th in scoring in the playoffs. He's scored over 20 in every single playoff game to date. Getting you the rebounds. Exactly what he did during the course of the season. He is so big at 7'2" and 263. He's tough.
Now Cleveland with a backcourt trap right at half court. Chicago with 15 seconds to get their offense underway.
Nance did a good job fighting through that screen to open up Grant. Oh, nice fake by Carson.
To the left hand, but Nance got in there to get a piece of it.
Already, they're more aggressive than they were in game 1. No question about it. Their only thing which is lacking so far is the Bulls already have 3-second shots. But as far as getting around and denying, they're doing a nice job.
Timeout Chicago. It's going to be Bulls ball with 2 seconds on the shot clock as you see Cleveland disagreeing with Daryl Gerritsen. By the way, our officials tonight are Daryl Gerritsen, Joe Forte, and Dan Crawford. And Phil Jackson has moved his team all the way out to center of the court for his timeout.
You know, you'd be hot also, Bob, because in the early going now, we have only played a few minutes. We have not played 4 minutes yet, and they have already been to the shot clock twice with only 2 seconds to go. So that is a good endorsement for the aggressiveness of Cleveland, not allowing them to get the early shots like they had the other evening.
And the adjustments that they've made in the 2 days since game number 1 on Tuesday night. Michael Jordan over Elo. Elo was right there, but he had to throw up the shot because there was only 2 seconds on the clock when they inbounded, and Chicago is 0 for 7. Nice looking for Doherty again. Backing in on Cartwright. A jump hook from only about 4 feet.
Now, come on. He's had 4 chances. He has scored on 2, fouled on another, and another shot rimmed down on.
6 points for Doherty. Chicago yet to score.
And they're still playing it straight up.
Still yet to score. Jordan back up hard. He's fouled. Will go to the line.
Bob, this is a major problem. That's already their 4th offensive rebound. And you cannot do that because two easy places, fast break and second shot. See, he's working here. Now, he's moving Cartwright out of there. How about this? Picking it up from the floor without another dribble and being able to go up and score over Cartwright, 7'1", 250.
Doherty, nice talent. He's really coming into his own, leading Cleveland to 57 wins this year. It took Chicago 7 seconds short of 4 minutes to score their first points of the game, and it was a free throw off the hands of Michael Jordan. As I told you at the beginning, playing with a sore throat tonight.
Michael, I thought, had a beautiful game the other night, Bob. Short of 33 points, but the 7 assists. He really broke down the Cleveland defense in that first quarter into the second quarter, helping everyone get involved.
8-2, 7:54 to go in the first quarter. Cleveland off to an excellent start tonight. Price hits the three, make it 11-2 Cleveland. What a different look on this Cavaliers team here tonight.
He's a tough cover. You cannot leave him, and you must make him put the ball down on the floor because he shoots it so well from there. A career over 40% three-point shooter.
Now Cartwright down on the block against Nance. Excellent shot blocker. Out of the way of that shot. Price comes away with it. It's 3-on-3. Elo's going to pull up. Wasn't confident about what he wanted to do there.
Now, good intimidation by Michael Jordan by flying at him. And he definitely did not regroup and get his legs underneath him for that shot.
Chicago 0 for 9. They have yet to hit a field goal in this game. With 5 minutes gone in the first quarter. 0 for 10.
But you notice, Bob, they're not getting into the paint except on second shots.
Look at the speed from Doherty.
Yes.
Doherty running the floor like a James Worthy lookalike. I guess it's a North Carolina trick.
It's in the water. Come on, it's just so nice to see him out there because he's a complete center. He does it all. Show you right here that you see. Now, once this ball is passed back to the top, keep your eyes on what Cleveland is trying to do defensively. Now, right now, they want to make this catch right up in here, but they are forcing them out so far that now everything is being pushed back.
Chicago 0 for 11 tonight. They have yet to hit a field goal. Hit 8 out of their first 10 shots the other night. Pippen with his second steal.
The old story of someone handling the ball in the middle of the break who should not have the basketball.
Jordan one-on-one. Elo gets the push.
The one thing when you play Chicago that you must definitely stop, that is Jordan and Pippen running from behind, catching up to the fast break, and then stealing passes, which we just had an opportunity to see. They never quit on a break because they're so fast getting from end line to end line.
Here's another interesting story. We talk about Phil Jackson, substitute du jour. You never know who's coming off the bench. First sub of the ball game tonight, Stacey King for Bill Cartwright.
Well, you know, Stacey King, believe it or not, he's only played in 6 playoff games. He was the player of the month for the Bulls during November. He started 11 games when Cartwright was out with a broken hand. They were 9-2, and he made a big contribution.
You don't know whether it's going to be King, Purdue, Williams, who will come in at center. All 4 of them have come in and played well during the season at various times. Nice play on the give and go. Sanders doesn't hit it. Rebound goes to Horace Grant.
See, they're the ones that you've got to score. You see, if he would have just taken that up and dunked it, Stacey King would have gotten out of the way. Instead, he allowed Stacey King to intimidate him to take a bad hook shot.
Now both Nance and Elo come out on Jordan. Nance drops back, Elo with a steal.
3-on-2.
Sanders, nice pass.
There you go.
15-3 Cavaliers.
They are so alive defensively tonight. They really accepted the challenge, and they're right up in here, forcing the Chicago offense out an extra 3 to 4 feet.
Jordan with the penetration. Sanders with a steal. It's 2-on-3. Price.
Oh, he thought he had a foul.
Threw up the shot, and now we got a loose ball foul against Sanders
right
instead.
Here, he thought he had a foul. That's why he shot the basketball, and he's telling the referee right now. Instead, they get a loose ball foul call. Now, just watch to the left of your screen as they're bringing Jordan all the way out. Jordan wants to create an advantage down inside, but nothing happens. Great defense by Elo.
Pippen got the double team from Doherty that time, who slides back down in on Stacey King. 8 to shoot. Paxson around Grant, now 6. Grant from long range, airball.
See, another jump shot.
Nance running the floor ahead of Price. Chicago 0 for 12.
Wow.
Price with his second three. 18-3.
Give him 4. Do you realize he was way behind the line on that one? That's the furthest point on the floor to take a 3-point shot. He didn't even hesitate. See, that's that 2-man action that we tried to show you back about 2 minutes. What they do when they reverse the ball to that side. Now, just keep an eye on Price. Now, this is just an outstanding shot because his body movement was going to the left. That is the further point, and he just splashed that in. That was a 2-on-2 break.
The Chicago Bulls set a playoff record 19 of 19 from the free throw line. Playoff record for their club in game number 1. Pippen goes to the line here. Cleveland already in the penalty, playing much more aggressively and possibly using the fouls well. Certainly as you look at the score of 18-4 with 4:34 to go in the first quarter.
They're giving Price a break right now. Terrell Brandon has done a nice job from the Boston series into this game the other night. Did a nice job in the backcourt for them.
And Hot Rod Williams in for Cleveland with the rebound.
Now Jordan will be all over Elo because Elo will be a primary guy handling for him. See, this you got to exploit. You must make them double team.
The reversal, open man. Ends up being Nance with the penetration. Tough bucket from Larry Nance in his first hoop of the night.
See, you must force King to play in Chicago to double team Doherty. That will open up people for you if you have good ball reversal.
All 5 Cleveland starters have scored. The Bulls have 3 from Jordan, 1 from Pippen, and that's it.
They just put Terrell Brandon down on the floor. See, he tried to cheat against that double screen and he got caught.
Pippen finally gets Chicago's first field goal. It took them 8 minutes and 14 seconds to score a field goal in this ballgame. That's phenomenal.
Nice. Count it. See, that will go to the line. That was a beautiful screen by Doherty. That's what we call the old UCLA series. Made famous by John Wooden in UCLA. You pass to the right wing, and then you cut off the screen of the center. Terrell Brandon was open. King tried to help out, and what happens? Right to Doherty, and as King recovers, he takes him off the dribble.
Doherty missing from the free throw line where Cleveland struggled the other night, missing 7, but Doherty has 10 early. Paxson for 3. And just like that, the Bulls have 9 and 2 consecutive jump shot field goals. It's 22-9 Cleveland. 22-9 Cavaliers. John Paxson hit the 3 just before the timeout.
Yeah, an excellent call by Lenny, because Lenny said, hey, wait a second, Terrell, I just put you in the game to stay at home on John Paxson, and if Hodges replaces him, you stay at home with him. We do not want them shooting 3s, especially uncontested 3s. Where were you?
Brandon, the rookie from Oregon, backing up Mark Price at the point guard position. Nance open for the jumper. And Chicago doing an imitation of Cleveland here in the second game. A little soft, a little flat. Like Cleveland came out on Tuesday night.
And all of the turnovers resulted in fast breaks going the other way.
Much like Tuesday night also.
Absolutely.
Pippen now on Doherty. See how quick Doherty is here. He got in front of him.
Give Brad some accolades there, right?
Oh, Jordan changing directions on that shot. They still can't get it to go down.
When you look at this, when you look at who's inside, they have Nance, Doherty, and Williams inside. They just got 4-second shots.
Jordan is 0 for 5 in this game. All 3 of his points coming from the line. Elo goes down hard.
Watch the 3-second call.
3 seconds because he can't get up fast enough. Cleveland turnover, or did Chicago hit it? It's 2 seconds on the clock. Cavs ball.
See, Doherty, this isn't Boston double teaming, and it's not New Jersey. When the Bulls double team you, they cover those outlets real fast, and he's having trouble passing out of the double team.
Gonna have to shoot it fast. He got it away in time. John Williams got his first bucket. It took him a long time to score the other night. Williams only 3 of 9 in game number 1.
And when you're coaching and that stuff happens, you're feeling good. You're feeling good.
Yeah. 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Pippen for 3. There must be a rim, a lid on the rim.
See, Elo has the talent to get back in and help them out as a 4th rebounder, and he must get back in there. I know he's got Jordan, but when the shot goes up, get down in there and help out.
8 seconds to shoot. Williams with a reverse jam. Pass Scottie Pippen.
I'm telling you, someday that young man's going to wake up and he's going to say, you know what, every time I catch a ball, I'm taking people off the dribble, and they're going to have to stop him. One step, he's in from the corner. Chicago is 2 of 20 from the floor.
Hot Rod Williams with the foul.
Now, Williams is hot. We know that he just went with the big jumper. See, there's your head fake. Now, just watch this. One dribble, and he comes up strong and sends it down. See, in the other two series against New Jersey and Boston, he would try to shoot it on the same side that he's coming in on, and if the defensive player was not beaten entirely, the guy would get a piece of it. That's the way to take it. Come up on the other side and send it home.
B.J. Armstrong into the game for Paxson, and Cliff Livingston is checking in for Chicago's Horace Grant. So the Bulls have Jordan, Livingston, Armstrong, and Stacey King and Pippen on the floor, trailing by 19 points. Chicago's also only 4 of 7 from the free throw line in this first quarter. Danny Ferry getting early action for the Cavs.
As the game wears on, you must be prepared for them. Sometimes it's man-to-man, and sometimes it's a trap in the backcourt only after foul shots.
Now King is on Williams. Brandon and B.J. Armstrong match up. 18 feet, tough shot for Brandon.
Good play by Cliff Livingston. Good play.
Williams stepped out big on Jordan. They'll have to move it around and set it up again. Armstrong from 17. The Bulls get in double figures, 28-12.
The main thing here is that you do not turn it over. You must get a good shot attempt because Bulls are in the penalty, and this way you can get to the foul line. One thing you tell post guys, when the pass is on its way to you, come and meet the ball. Please do not have your weight going backwards, and that's what happened on that. Nance was going backwards, Livingston King holds the top.
10 on the shot clock for Cleveland. Now 4 seconds. Blocked away. Pippen, Jordan, Armstrong.
Good foul. Good foul. Good foul. No three-point play. And also, do not allow Michael to get that ball up above his shoulders. Now you're going to see this a real heads-up play by Danny Ferry. See, he gets him right here. Take the arm. Just don't let that arm get up above the shoulder area. That way you're going to prevent the three-point play. Make Jordan hit the 2 foul shots.
Jordan with 4 first-quarter points. Plays big in the playoffs. He has never scored less than 30 in a playoff game versus Cleveland.
You know, everyone says, Craig Elo, can he stop him? We do not have a man on this planet who can stop him. Okay? There isn't anyone out here who can stop him. Why are they picking on Craig Elo? Like someone else has stopped him somewhere along the line of playoffs.
As though some other
right?
2 guards.
That's right. We all know that you need 2 people. And even then you don't stop him because he's averaging 26 shots a game in the playoffs and 10 foul shot attempts. You're not going to stop him. He's going to get his 30 every night.
I think you have to have what's called a net defense against Jordan. He gets his 40, you try to get your 20, he gets a net 20. That's the defense of Jordan. 28-14 Cavs, 12.2 to go in the quarter. Mark Price fouled by Jordan as the Bulls had a foul to give. It was on Michael. Grant has not scored. Cartwright is scoreless. Paxson hit 1 3-pointer. Jordan has 5 points.
They double team on Price, trying to run the clock here now, but they have to find a free guy.
And it turns out to be Hot Rod Williams.
And he says, it's my game tonight. I'm 3 for 3, and I'm looking pretty clean.
That's the end of the first quarter. The Cavaliers have put 30 on the board and held the Bulls to 14% shooting and 14 points. The Bulls held to 14 points. Their record low for a quarter in the playoffs is 12, so they narrowly avert that. Michael Jordan has 5. By the way, Cleveland shooting 65%, only 2 turnovers.
Well, the turnovers by Price and Doherty in that first quarter in Game 1 had Chicago playing confidently out in the open floor. And as we can see tonight, very few fast breaks. But Chicago already has 8 offensive rebounds. That's a bad sign.
Hodges is in the ball game, and another Chicago turnover. That's 5 for the Bulls, with The opening minute of play in quarter number 2. We have Scott Williams, Armstrong, Hodges, Cliff Livingston, and Pippen on the floor for Chicago.
Now, Battle was right up on Hodges that time, playing right in his chest.
Battle with his first action in this series. He did not play in game 1. John Battle, number 10. Williams, Chicago of the Atlanta Hawks and out Rutgers.
Nice.
Interior passing. Battle to Sanders to Hot Rod Williams, who has a quick 8.
Well, we have 2 teams who pass so beautifully inside the lane on most nights. We have to cover ourselves with that one, right?
The Bulls with turnover number 6. Hodges has thrown it away twice.
Yeah, but you see, they're doing a terrific job on that elbow. Every time that ball comes back to the top, they're looking to go to the elbow, and they are right up in there. Oh, is this
Price is 3 for 3 from three-point land. It is a 21-point Cavalier lead. The building is stunned.
To show you the triangle again and to bring up this point, when the ball comes back to the middle of the floor, they love to come up, and this is the elbow where the 2 lines meet. They've been forcing them outside and denying the pass and forcing the offense way out. Now, as that ball came around and it was reversed, Pippen was going back door. Why? Because of the defense. They're not conceding that pass.
Now that's a hard foul.
Offensive foul.
They're going to call Cliff Livingston for getting his arm in there against Nance, and he will pick up the foul.
See, once again, Cleveland gets a piece of that. See, all he's trying to do is protect himself because he was clubbed with the shooting hand. Someone's free here.
Price has just hit 4 three-pointers in this ball game and has 12 points.
I remember he makes them during the course of the year, so, you know, he shot them at 39% this year.
The Bulls are stunned. Listen to this. You can hardly hear the crowd in what is the noisiest building in the NBA. It is quiet.
Oh, they're just so stunned. See, what's happening, the guards are staying off of Price because they're respecting him for the quickness off the dribble. But if you notice, tonight he's not doing it. 3 shooters. The only team that can match them is Portland for making 3. Porter, Drexler, and Danny Ainge.
Williams blocked Hot Rod Williams. Williams blocked Williams, and then Williams knocked it out of bounds, and the foul is on Williams. You go with that.
Well, all I know is the guys in the blue are getting every break. They're getting every loose ball. They're getting every call. They're making every long shot. And if you are a Cav fan, you're kind of like smiling now, right? Especially if you're a Cav fan in Chicago the last 2 days to read about all of this baloney.
Stacey King missed from about 4 feet. Gordy almost flipped it up and in on the defensive rebound. It is 38-14 Cavs. 9:28 to go in the first half. Mark Price is fouled on the penetration.
Now, you see, as he came over half court that time, B.J. Armstrong was right up on him. Now, what happened? He started to slow down just a little bit to give you an inkling that he might go with the shot. And then as you take a step towards him, he just blows by. So quick with the basketball. And when you think, Bob, reconstructive surgery, he is the only player in the history of the NBA to come back within the same year of the surgery and make the All-Star team.
And he makes both free throws for 14 in this ball game. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Hubie and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. And Cleveland, as if they needed it tonight, on a 12-0 run.
So you have to look inside. Michael Jordan's got Battle on his back.
Williams on Pippen. He goes down.
The court is
6 to
slippery,
shoot.
Bob. The court has been slippery.
Ice underneath because the Blackhawks are still in the NHL playoffs. Jordan hasn't hit one tonight. 0 for 6. All of his points have come from the line. Jordan knocks it out with 22 on the shot clock. Cavs ball.
Nice block out by Sanders, though. See, Pippen had to go over his back. And how about Jordan getting down there because Battle was way up in the corner. Price felt bad, and, you know, he acknowledged Battle because he gave a pass that Jordan could get his hand on.
10 to shoot for the Cavs. Lob broken up by Horace Grant. Not a good pass from Doherty. B.J. Armstrong to Pippen.
Excellent pass by BJ. He had a thread and needle on that one, Bob. There was very little room to get that one through.
Bulls with some pressure, not trapping at the moment.
No, they're just coming down, trying to get them, you know, to waste some time in the backcourt.
John Battle looking for penetration. He travels as he fell down and slid across the floor. I mentioned that the Chicago Blackhawks are in the NHL playoffs. The ice is still underneath this floor. There is condensation. That's one of the reasons that the players are falling.
Just a beautiful pass that time. Now, we've seen 4 guys fall down already in the first half.
Armstrong. Michael Jordan's first field goal of the night. He's 1 for 7. It'll be a 3-point opportunity.
The Lenny Wilkins on the other sideline is walking back and forth. He's very upset. He's bringing in Nance. Sanders and Williams are both underneath on the side. And what happens? Jordan gets right up inside here. See, Sanders fell away from Jordan. Cost them 3 points, a possible 3 here.
That's 3 fouls on Williams.
See, you can't be faint of heart here tonight. I mean, you've got to put a body on a guy. You're wearing a blue shirt. They're confident that they can go right over you and get every single second shot chance. They did it 15 times the other night when they shot over 50%.
Cleveland handling the trap well on this possession. 40-19 Cavaliers. Doherty wide open.
That was gorgeous. What a head fake by Price as he split the double team.
Doherty has 12 points, Price 14. Grant is yet to score for Chicago. Mark Price looking for the penetration. Fouled by Armstrong.
Mark Price is so deceptive. Just watch as they jump out. See, he loves to split it with the dribble. How about the ball fake? And that opened up Doherty because the center had to leave Doherty at that time to help out.
B.J. Armstrong with his second personal foul. Mark Price even missed a free throw the other night, but he does it very rarely at 9:41. All-time playoff free throw percentage leader.
Now coming into tonight, only 114 for 122. 94% playoff career. Not bad.
Just think of this, folks. That's a correct score. 7:33 to go in the half. The Bulls have scored 19 points. Jordan can't get that one to fall. Battle comes away with it.
It's a 4-on-2 if he makes the pass.
The no-look to Sanders. Back to Nance, who draws the foul.
Just by changing direction with that pass, the defense had to recover and honor, and then you come back with the next pass.
2 on Jordan now. That was the 3rd team foul against Chicago. 2 team fouls on the Cavaliers.
That's why you're always trying to tell players, will you please pass the ball up ahead when the guy is open? That forces the defense to make a decision. You'll if you free up.
Now Elo in for Sanders, so we have Price and Battle on the floor at the guard positions, and Elo comes in at that swing position he plays sometimes as the number 3 man.
Well, back 3 years ago when they won 57 games also, Craig Elo played an awful lot of small. And now, because Paxson and Hodges are both in there looking for threes.
Doherty stepped out and left King open. He couldn't get the layup.
You know he's going to try to finish.
It'll be Cavs ball, 18 seconds on the shot clock. Timeout on the floor with 6:55 to go in the half. The Bulls have been held to 19 points. Cleveland shooting 68% so far. Here's one of the reasons. Look at this shot from Doherty.
Now we're going to give you another look. Now watch how Price splits the double team. Now as he fakes the shot, the drop-off pass down to Doherty as his man tries to help. It's just been beautiful ball movement. That's what Lenny said. Look, he said, we might not have been very aggressive the other night, but one of the reasons was also is that we went to too many pick and rolls and also strictly post-up. We did not move the basketball. We were standing around too much. And it forced too many turnovers for him the other night. Tonight, everything is being spread out, but this guy right here, by hitting the threes and splitting all the double teams, has opened everything up by himself.
Purdue is in the game, and Doherty He pushed off Purdue to get that pass from Price. We'll see if Purdue can do a little bit better job than Stacey King.
Now just keep an eye on it there. See, as he's going for it, he hit him back with his left hand. See, if he just would have kept the forearm out there, it was fine. Jordan, now remember, is running now as the second guard.
Pippen backing in Elo, splitting in and getting the footer to go.
See, you know that Chicago's going to make a run. The building's going to go nuts. They're only down 25. You know, you still have a whole second half to go. They're a dangerous defensive team. The big thing now for Cleveland, you've got to stay with what has been good for you.
Got a Chicago foul on the drive. It's on Michael Jordan, and that's his third personal foul, by the way, as Battle goes out of the game and Sanders comes back in. 3 fouls on Michael Jordan, 3 fouls on Hot Rod Williams.
They were late. They were late with that substitution. See, Hodges is coming for him. See, the spacing right now is bad. See, they're double teaming, and 2 Cleveland guys are running to the same area, and 1 Chicago guy is playing.
Price just missed his 5th attempt for 5 3-pointers. He has 4. Grant slipped inside.
Well, Nance Gamble. See, Nance Gamble to try to help out over here on Michael Jordan, and it cost them. Lenny very quickly, timeout. We have to stop that. No gambling. We don't want them to come back.
Our 36th playoff telecast on TNT in 29 days. Tomorrow night we'll have the 3rd game in this series as the Blazers and Porters are playing a tune on the Jazz. They're up 2-0 as that series moves to Salt Lake City, and game 37 in 30 days on TNT. That's a record number of telecasts during the playoffs, and we're happy that we had the extended series and the scheduling opportunities to bring you this playoff story on TNT this 1992 playoff season.
When you're on the road, you must understand that clock and the foul situation. Cleveland will be shooting the penalty on the next foul, so you've got to take advantage of it.
3 to shoot. Purdue with a rebound. Pippen running. Bulls showing signs of getting back in this thing. But Price punched it away, packs it open. He misses. He wasn't squared up for that shot. Elo with a rebound.
And Grant had a wide open shot. That definitely should have been 2. See, we want to talk about the foul situation. You're shooting the penalty. You cannot be launching all of these long jump shots. That was a good pass. Doherty fell asleep. If he would have met that pass, he had a layup.
Jordan. This is the jumper. Gets his own board. Pippen from 14. From Michael Jordan. And Pippen now has 10.
It's 21-16 this quarter in favor of Chicago. Now, Lenny just called the 22nd. He's all over Elo. Why? Michael Jordan shot a jump shot. Elo took off. He never blocked out Michael Jordan. Michael goes back, gets the rebound, hits Pippen. See, what's starting to happen now with this big lead is they're not doing the little things. The little things are the dangerous things. Lenny made a statement to us today. When you're on the road, you must play the game close to the vest. By playing close to the vest, you do not try to thread the needle on passes. All right, how about that stat? Offensive rebounds means little things. Block out your man.
4:35 to go in the half. Cavs, nevertheless, still lead it by 21. They had led by as many as 26 points in this game. Doherty against Purdue. Here comes the double team. 5 to shoot.
See, their spacing is terrible away from the ball. Terrible off after the double team.
Big bucket from Sanders.
Oh, come on.
At the buzzer, it'll count.
That's the second one, okay? Sanders from out of his range. Right, John Williams out of his range.
Out of his mind. Jordan.
Michael is right over the top.
Grant's second basket of the game, and it's 48-27.
11 offensive rebounds, and we're not even to halftime.
Michael Jordan is 1 for 10 tonight. It's blocked by Grant. Paxson. The Bulls are running. You'd think it's Pamplona the last couple of minutes.
This is what we just got finished talking about. You're on the road. The building's back. They're on a 10-2 run. They're really playing well. You have got to space properly on these double double team. They're taking Doherty out of the game with the double team. So if he passes diagonally, you guys have got to be more than 15 feet apart.
Nance has 8 points. Purdue pick from Jordan.
Because you know this guy right here is going to get going. See, the bench is going nuts. They're saying right now the referee made the call and said that he took his feet out from under him. That's the sixth time that a player has fallen because of the wetness of the floor.
Because of the ice underneath it at Chicago Stadium. 239th consecutive sellout. Game 2 Eastern Conference Championship Series. The Cavs came here tonight loaded. 50-29 they're leading. 3:06 to go in the first half. They held the Bulls to 14 first quarter points.
Now the Cavs have only committed 3 fouls in the quarter.
Jordan 1 for 10 from the floor. Punched away by Elo.
Plenty of time. 10 seconds.
You can see that Michael is determined to get something underway. He falls down again. Time after time, particularly on that end of the floor, the players are going down. Condensation from the ice.
Absolutely. And Darryl Garrison is pointing at the floor because Michael Jordan said to him, I got fouled. He said it was the floor. Oh, how about that? Little dipsy-do. Came back with the left hand that time.
Doherty 6 out of 8. Pippen, ice inside. Missed the layup. Grant the follow.
Where are Sanders and Nance? Where are these two guys? See, they're looking around and they're contended. Now that is their 12th offensive rebound and they keep scoring.
Doherty slipped inside of Grant. He was fouled as Purdue came over for the block.
See, by going to Doherty, no way can Purdue play him anytime that he puts the ball down on the floor. Keep an eye on Michael as Michael makes a quick move here. First of all, Elo knocks it away. The shot clock gets down to 10. Now as Michael crosses over, you're going to see he makes a move and he slips right there. But that's been going on all night.
Grant called for the foul, his second of the ball game, as Doherty has 15 points, 2:09 to go in the half. Cavaliers held to only 89 points in game number 1. They've already scored 54 in this ballgame.
When you start series, you get beat by 1 or 40. It doesn't make a bit of difference. You're only down 1-0. So you're down.
Nance right in the face of Grant.
Hey, once again, Elo. That's the 3rd time he has knocked the ball away from Michael Jordan in this half.
Doherty into the paint, missed the jump hook.
Another steal by Elo. He hit that one from the rear. See if they...
Price.
Big.
Has 18.
People are going crazy. Phil Jackson is going. But give Elo credit. Elo is getting his hands. That's his 4th steal.
Foul on Sanders. Derisive cheers and jeers from the crowd.
But that's okay because they take it on the side. The next foul will be the penalty.
Coming up at halftime, the Prudential halftime reporter Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios, joined by Dick Versace. Look at the coaching carousel. Laker head coach Randy Funn joins us live from Los Angeles.
They have Sanders on Jordan, Elo on Pippen.
Jordan has just had a defensive nightmare tonight. Somebody's been in his face all night long. Michael is 2 for 11, and it's the Cavs by 23.
We don't have to make any apologies, but he did receive medication when he arrived here tonight. He did go for a nap for 30 minutes, and you can see he's definitely way off on his shooting.
Has a sore throat, they said. Pippen comes away with a steal as Elo got careless. It is Chicago ball with 44.3 to go.
And a technical on Pippen. See, Pippen is, you know, he wants it at the other end, see. Now, Phil Jackson has got to be careful here now so that they do not get another technical. Sure, they're upset. Why? Because what's happening to them is what they normally do to other teams. They pick your pocket from behind or on a double team.
Cavaliers with 57 first half points.
I want to know if Mark Price has done anything negative in this half. Maybe he shot that 5th three a little too far out.
Yeah,
maybe.
A slight miss on his 5th three-point attempt. Hit 4 out of 4 to start. Jordan, his jumper's definitely off tonight. Pippen missed the jam. That's how it's been going for the Bulls. The crowd's buzzing. They just can't get over it.
You know, they got another second shot, and Pippen was definitely fouled on it. Okay, he was. And he just looked at Darryl Garrett and he wanted the call, but they're not going to get the call. Everything's been going against them. There is a 4-second difference here now on the clock.
Purdue with a hold on Price with 8.5 to go. And Price goes to the line as that was the penalty foul for Chicago. Bill Cartwright, you speak of absent. Bill Cartwright has no points in the game, and the man he started out matched up against at the beginning, Doherty, has 16.
Yeah, but Cartwright has not played at all in the second quarter. Not at all. Now, Lenny really had a tough time with Mark Price, feeding him back this year. During the course of the season, you know, people forget, they think Price played a lot of minutes. Price only played 29 minutes a game during this 82-game schedule. They fed him back 15 minutes, then 20 minutes, then 25. Lenny had to baby him to build his strength. And even now, he says he still gets tired. Why? Because here, he's averaging 36 minutes a game. And he still gets, at the end of the game, tired legs for the long shots.
Already 21 points, 5 assists in this game for Mark Price. The Cavs with a point explosion in the first half. Jordan misses another shot at the buzzer. It's symbolic and fitting ending to this first half for the frustration suffered by the Chicago Bulls as they have been clobbered by the Cavaliers, 59-33.
Do not, as they say, adjust your sets. That is the score from Chicago Stadium. Cleveland 59, the Bulls 33. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta with the Prudential halftime report, joined by Dick Versace. People said Cleveland's got to be more aggressive, they got to be more physical. Lenny Wilkins, in effect, saying you don't have to knock the bark off somebody to be more aggressive. These guys have responded tonight.
Well, they've got great athletes, and anytime you take great athletes, Ernie, and then you make them take that athleticism and play defense with it. Add to that the fact that these athletes are great offensive players besides. Now you've got a double-edged sword, and Chicago is paying the price right now.
You know, you talked to I think earlier this week, you said Lenny Wilkins has to come up with some kind of Jordan rule saying you can't put Craig Eglo out on an island trying to guard Michael Jordan, and they've changed that too.
Well, I was a little surprised that they didn't do it in Game 1. I just think that they've been burned so many times by what Michael Jordan can do, but this time they've come up with a plan.
We just happen to have a telestrator play ready for Versace. Go ahead.
All you got to do is look to see that Chicago is going to try to get into their normal triangle. Pippen's going to come over here. They're going to get a posted player here, and then there's the triangle there. It's kind of an isosceles triangle. Wow. And there'll be a little pin down here for Jordan. Normally, Craig Eglo will play him one-on-one. Let's watch Eglo here and see how he plays him. He normally would come up the inside or follow Jordan around the screen, but it would only be Eglo. So let's watch and see what happens here. There he comes up the inside. It looks like it's just Eglo, but lo and behold,
a double.
A double team and not only that, look at this. They chase him out wide open inside with a little, anticipated coverage is Horace Grant, but I think this pressure by these athletes of Cleveland is the thing that's really making a difference. Look at Jordan. He's susceptible for a steal. And actually, there were several steals in the first half. And I think Craig Eglo has 3 of them. And Mike Sanders finishes with a nice little transition basket.
And that's one of the reasons it's a 26-point lead and a free geometry lesson on the isosceles thing, too.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that was the right triangle.
Well, that's okay. Now, let's talk about
because
coaching.
It was a right triangle.
At any rate, coaching news today. Don Nelson is the coach of the year from Golden State. Ron Rothstein, the new coach of the Detroit Pistons. Gary St. Jean's going to be the new coach of the Sacramento Kings as of tomorrow. The coaching carousel has not ended in the past month or so. You take a look at the way things stood in the league about a month ago, and you see that Dunleavy and Daly and Hamblin and Fitch and Fitzsimmons, all these guys had their jobs at that point. Changes were in the works, though. Let's look at the coaching carousel and what has transpired over the last 30 days or so, Coach.
Well, there's been 25 coaching changes in the NBA since Mike Fratello left the Atlanta Hawks, which wasn't that long ago. And right now you see some brand new faces. Tarkanian, I think, is in for the biggest adjustment because he doesn't have an NBA background. Issel will be okay. He's got some good, solid help. Gary St. Jean's ready. Rostein's been there. And Paul Westphal was a terrific player in the league, and Mike Dunleavy is just a geographical change.
And still to be determined in New Jersey as to who Bill Fitch's replacement is going to be. You also see the name of Randy Fund there with the LA Lakers. You're going to know much more about Randy Fund when the Prudential Halftime Report continues. We'll talk to Randy in Santa Monica after this. Even the Eastern Conference Final Series with the Bulls at a game apiece, and they're looking good in the first half. The Prudential Halftime Report continues. Ernie Johnson, Dick Versace. It was a right triangle. Very good. Let's talk about Randy Fund of the LA Lakers. Not much head coaching experience, but a lot of experience.
Well, Randy's a guy I know real well. I tried to hire him when I went to Indiana, but he liked the ocean too much, so I couldn't get him to go. Don't be fooled by what you think is not an illustrious coaching background. This is a young man that's eminently prepared to coach the Los Angeles Lakers. He's had great schooling from the brilliant Pat Riley. He has put in the hours and the miles that are necessary to prepare yourself to coach in this league. I predict he'll do extremely well.
Let's spend a few minutes with Randy Fund. He is in Santa Monica, California at Legends, and he likes our bump music, too. We saw you getting down with that stuff, Randy. You told me the other day the honeymoon is already over out there. You get the job Monday, and by Tuesday morning, the honeymoon had ended. Tell me why.
Well, I showed up at the office early, eager to get after my new job, and the security guard said, "Good morning," and I said, "Good morning." He said, "Congratulations." I said, "Thank you very much." He said, "Now, how are you going to get us back to the finals next year?"
Well, he makes a good point. How are you going to do it, Coach?
Well, we have some changes probably to make, but I think more than anything else, we need to get healthy. We need to get back to playing a little bit quicker pace game. And I really hope to maybe come up with a little bit different style for the Lakers, in which, maybe we get to a little bit of passing game, a little bit more moving and cutting. And, of course, we need to shore up our rebounding. We slipped this year a lot in that department, and that's something we have to speak to right away.
Randy, you've got that lovely little condo right on the beach down there. You had a nice California lifestyle. You saw the carousel. Why would you want to get into this head coaching end of things?
That's a good question. Well, Pat liked New York, and apparently Mike likes Milwaukee, and I love L.A. So, no, it's a tough business, and but I think I've been well schooled, as you mentioned. My 5 years with Pat and 2 years with Mike, it's really been an advantage for me to see Mike come in and start as a new head coach. I think those things will give me an advantage. We have some great veteran players here. I'm very comfortable with the guys we have who have championship rings on their fingers. And what we have to do is develop some new young players who play with that type of championship quality.
Randy, let me ask you about the Magic Johnson situation. There is talk that he will unretire this summer. Is he fitting in your plans right now? Do you think you'll have him for a whole season, for part of a season, none of the season? Where's he fit in?
Well, he fits in anybody's plans just fine. I have to prepare like Magic will not be here next year, and that's how I will approach it. But certainly what he could add to this team is almost immeasurable, and we'd look forward to that at any point in time. If we thought that was a possibility, we would fit him in just fine.
Randy, you've always been involved in all the X's and O's and that end of the game. Are you prepared for all those other ancillary things that you're now going to have to face, dealing with the media, solving player problems, etc.?
Well, I think that's what head coaching is about, really, is handling those delicate things which you have to do. And I think if you have a feel for the game, have an instinct, and get along with your players, I think that can be done, and that's what I would hope to do.
Randy Fund, we want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to join us tonight. Good luck in L.A.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Randy Fund joining us from Santa Monica, California at Legends, happening place tonight out in Santa Monica. Remember, later tonight on TNT, it is Inside the NBA. Fred Hickman is your host. Doc Rivers along with him again. They're going to be talking to Terry Porter. That guy has had an incredible playoff season. And tomorrow night, it's our final telecast of the playoffs. And you thought Carson was the only one signing off. Blazers and Jazz tomorrow night at 8 on TNT.
The Cavaliers with a 59-33 lead over the Bulls at halftime here, and two more pieces of bad news for the Chicago Bulls. One is Michael Jordan continues to feel under the weather. He had a sore throat before tonight's ball game, tried to sleep it off, so to speak. They gave him some medication for it, is still feeling bad, running a little bit of a fever, I understand. And just a moment ago we learned that Bill Cartwright will not be playing in the entire second half because he strained his back.
Yeah, it's been a tough half for them. We want to show you all the stats right now quickly. Chicago struggling 28%. Price has 21. Jordan and Pippen are 6 for 24 between them, 25%. And it's just a nightmare for them. The thing which is keeping them in the game are their second shots. They have 13 second shots for 15 points. Now, at the other end, Cleveland does not have a second shot, but when you shoot 64%, you don't need any. You know what I mean? Especially when you make 4 threes.
King starting the second half for Cartwright over Doherty. Doherty commits a foul. It'll be Brad's third. There's what Pippen and Jordan did in the first half. Pippen hit 4 field goals. Jordan only 2. Once again, Jordan playing tonight feeling poorly with a cold and a sore throat. Stacey King playing for Cartwright out for the rest of the game with a strained back. We don't know any details on how that happened or when, but the center matchups. Doherty 16 points and 5 rebounds. Cartwright, Purdue, King, and Williams no points, 1 rebound in the first half.
We want to bring out that point about King. He starts anytime that Cartwright cannot play. They use King as a starter, so this is not a surprise. But he usually, comes in with some pretty good points and excellent rebounding.
Sanders with the turnover. Chicago trying to come back, trailing by 26. Jordan continues his shooting woes. He is 2 for 14.
Big thing now for the Cavaliers is to take their time, get high percentage shots, try to get on the foul line like they did in the first half. They were 13 for 14 on the line. Play to your strengths.
Doherty's jump hook rattles out of there. Grant with a rebound.
Look out. Nice ball.
To King, who sneaked in behind Doherty.
That's right, and that was very smart. He made the call, called for it. Pippen, eye contact, nice pass. So you're at home. The Bulls are confident. So many NBA teams have come back during the course of the year a number of times, down 20-25. If you're a good team, it's happened to you maybe 4 or 5 times during the course of the year. Here's another
steal. With the steal, Doherty hits the floor.
Now, if King will hustle, they got an advantage.
Paxson with a big miss there. A bad miss, I might say. It'll be Chicago ball.
Well, that was off of Grant. You see, they all made the call, and it was really a hit off of Grant when the 2 players collided.
Nevertheless, Chicago has the ball. Jordan penetrating. His 3rd field goal of the game. He's talking to himself right now.
All the coaches out there, whatever level, you know this is a tough time for you when you're Lenny Wilkins. You're on the road, hostile crowd. They want to cheer at the drop of a hat. You want the game to end like in the next 30 seconds.
Illegal defense called against Chicago. This end of the floor was a problem for the Chicago Bulls for many reasons. One, they couldn't hit their shots. But 2, this end of the floor seemed to be the slipperiest. We reported to you that the ice is still here at Chicago Stadium, but the Blackhawks are in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And it is more slippery at the Cleveland offensive end than at Chicago's end.
Very, very warm outside the building.
About 85 degrees today. Nance from Price. Cleveland ball.
Excellent defense by Michael Jordan. Michael did not come in there. Doherty had a layup on that second shot. And just watch this. See, Nance is wide open. They can get that anytime they want. They double team. Now as Doherty brings the ball up on the other side, Jordan got in there and got a piece.
Elo misses from the corner. That, by the way, was Cleveland's first offensive rebound of the game. Doherty with the steal.
Yeah, Pippen stumped himself there. Nice move. I'm sorry, but I love it when he finishes the break. This guy sends it home.
61-37, Cleveland. Stacey King gets in the middle. Nice move by King.
So you can't be passive on him. You must respect him. He has a nice game. He's quick moving. Naturally, he has quicker feet than Doherty. He's going to be a problem for him to handle down inside.
4 points for Stacey King. But likewise, Doherty a problem for King. Punched away by Pippen. Cleveland ball, 8 on the shot clock.
I'm going to show you. See, Pippen just stubbed himself right there. He was distracted as the player went through. Now, this is a beautiful move. See, that's a smart point guard, knowing that his center was coming down.
Pippen punched it away, but Dan Crawford with the Cavaliers ball.
Scottie Pippen just feels that these three guys are not on the same page as he is tonight, because he is involved in all of the controversial calls that are going on.
Cavs have a 61-39 lead, and believe it or not, it doesn't seem that safe. 8:47 to go in the third quarter. Let's look at tonight's Chevrolet scoreboard. It's a recap of what happened on Tuesday night as Portland took a 119-102 win, and they lead in that series 2-0. That series concludes tomorrow night, or concludes. It moves tomorrow night to Salt Lake City, where the Utah Jazz are very, very tough at home.
See, all coaches have a little time clock when a ball club is rallying against them. Whether it's 6 points, 8 points, they have a little clock. As soon as you get that on and it's 6-0 right now, they'll call a timeout. That's what Lenny Wilkins did.
And Nance is able to score the basket and put it in the leading for the moment. 24-point Cavaliers lead, 8:25 to go, third quarter. Cartwright out with a sprained back. Michael Jordan playing with a slight fever and a sore throat.
Tell you, the Bulls are really popping people on all of their screens. They're hungry right now. There's another illegal defense now. That will cost them.
Lenny Wilkins' suit looks pretty nice to me. Somebody in the newspaper here in Chicago said he had an industrial-type suit on. Never have seen a suit score a basket.
A sport coat, no, or a foul shot, by the way, either. Yeah.
King hard to the hoop. Big block from Nance. Price is running.
Great move.
Paxson grabbed it.
Ooh, was that nice. Price in the open floor handles so beautifully. And he almost got past. Now watch the block coming right in here. Now, it's timed beautifully that time by Nance. The leading shot blocking forward that we have in the league this year.
Phil Jackson came all the way out to half court to talk to Dan Crawford. Price hasn't missed from the line tonight.
Price had a beautiful first half. 21 points, 5 for 7 from the field, 7 for 7 from the line, 4 for 5 for threes, and really distributed the basketball. 5 assists.
And he couldn't make the Olympic team.
Oh, look, trying to make the Olympic team is tough. Come on, come on.
Team? Just think about it. Grant to King, who's open from 14 feet. Hesitated on the shot and didn't get it. It won't be long before Phil Jackson will make a decision to make a change at center. You can almost count on that.
It's a good move that time. They didn't have it. They didn't want to force it. Take it out, run some clock. He almost slipped. He almost slipped.
It's slippery down here from the condensation. 5 to shoot. Price, a tough one from 19. Got his own offensive rebound. That's 2 in this series, in this quarter for Mark Price. Jordan with his 4th foul.
See, any time that Doherty makes that diagonal pass out of the double team, when he comes immediately across high, they have Chicago in a 2-on-1 situation on the opposite side, and they can get some good shots. Now, the big thing now is don't take the jumpers if you can drive to the basket.
And go figure this. Michael Jordan obviously with a foul there, but they call it on Horace Grant. That's his 3rd. Jordan continues with 3. And the change was made at center as Will Perdue checks in. B.J. Armstrong comes in to get John Paxson.
Now, that's because Paxson has allowed Price to launch 2 desperate shots. Paxson did not block him out. Price went right in and received both rebounds.
Cleveland's biggest lead, 28 points.
So we want to bring that point up. If you notice, the Bulls' offense is pushed out high. It's almost out as high as the 3-point line.
Another block from Nance. This time recovered by Grant. Tough shot. That was the third block of Larry Nance.
When you play horse, that's the shot you take. Behind the backboard, shoot it high, over the top, and hope for a swish.
From behind the car. Over the bush. And the gun. Doherty had it blocked by Purdue.
See, Brad wanted a call, but you're not going to get that call. You're not going to get that tonight. They've allowed it go at both ends. Now, in the first half, Cleveland was the recipient of all the non-calls. All right, well, now, this half, you've got to send it home big. Everything has got to be two-handed, not one-handed soft stuff.
Isolated with a nice bounce pass to Michael Jordan.
See, that's a forward screen down on the guard on the post. So when it comes in from the triangle, the forward who's cutting through isn't looking for a pass. He's going down and pinning Michael Jordan's man.
Nance open on the baseline. Grant didn't get to him. Jordan gets the rebound. I had a feeling Jordan was going to take this one all the way in.
That's Michael Jordan's 6th offensive rebound of this game.
He's 5 of 17 from the floor. Chicago has scored 6 straight. Until then, Price found Elo. Somebody lost him.
See, that's what the beauty of having a good distributor of the ball. When they double team and gamble, you just take it into the lane. You run without the ball to the basket. You'll get the pass.
Nance with his 4th block. Purdue with a loose ball. They're looking, Daryl Gerritsen looking up at the shot clock. See if they want to reset it. 5:26 to go in the third quarter. 69-45 Cavs.
See, Nance is really starting to come to life. Watch how he picks this one off. Just beautifully. Now, for the year, Nance was the 3rd leading shot blocker in this league. Williams was the 11th. So as a pair, no one else in the league had 2 guys of that quality.
They reset the shot clock to 21 seconds. Nance with 4 blocks in this ballgame. Had 6 against New Jersey in the opening playoff game for Cleveland. Hot Rod Williams sitting on the side trying to get into the Cavaliers at their next opportunity. Jordan on the baseline with some trouble. Finds Armstrong. Nice pass. Horace Grant couldn't get it to go right underneath the hoop.
That's the 3rd shot underneath the basket that Grant has allowed to slip out of his hand.
Price, speaking of slipping, goes to the floor. Purdue came away with it. Elo fouls Armstrong.
That was terrific hustle by Price. A great move by Purdue in picking up the ball and getting rid of it.
3 fouls on Elo.
Now just watch. As Price loses it, you think Armstrong, a nice move by Price, but now here Purdue not only gets it, but gets rid of it right to Armstrong. A little pop-up.
That'll be on the 1-900 call Will number tomorrow, I'm sure. Price goes out with 23.7 assists, and Terrell Brandon in for the Cavaliers. The Bulls showing a sign of making a mini run here.
This is hectic. It's almost chaotic.
Scrambling.
Yeah, everyone's scrambling. Nothing. There's a lot of action, but nothing is happening. No one's being rewarded with scores.
Pippen to Jordan. Jordan continues his shooting troubles. Grant rattled it home. Purdue wisely kept his hands off that.
That's Grant's 7th offensive rebound. He had 7 in game 1, 7 again. And right now, Williams has got to start paying attention to him and keep him off the glass.
Purdue had to commit the foul. Hold it, they don't call the foul. They say that Williams just missed the dunk attempt, turned the ball over, and give it to Chicago.
They can't believe they had a better angle right there than we did. Let's see if he gets it. No, he missed it.
He missed it.
See, that's not one-handed stuff. See, if you send it up there with 2 hands, you're going to get fouled.
Pippen missed the 3. Scottie Pippen looking tentative on that shot.
See, but they've been very conservative tonight, Bob. They're not pushing the ball hard, trying to get, you know, a 3-on-2 or a 4-on-3. If it's not there early, they just take it up and run the offense.
double team.
See, that's the one that's open right there.
Nance open, back to Doherty.
Nice. See, that's a diagonal pass. See, Nance is open at the elbow every single time. You hit him, he's got to make a decision. The smart decision, put it down and charge the basket.
Timeout on the floor. Doherty has 20 points with 9 rebounds, and the Cavaliers 71-47.
Show you what we mean by the double teaming. Now on the pass into Doherty, watch Grant come on the baseline. See, he's coming in here. Now there's your trap. Now right away, Nance will move to the elbow right there. And you see Williams down here, putting the pressure on the defensive man, 2 against 1. Now once you make that diagonal pass, see, now the decision on the defender, if I come to him too hard, he can go right past me. And then you have the opportunity to drop the pass off, take the drive yourself. If he stays low, then you take the jump shot.
3:43 to go in the quarter. Cavs 71-47. Chicago with 18 on the shot clock. Doherty out on Pippen. Jordan's rebound and the foul. Pippen only 4 of 14 shooting the ball tonight. You see Jordan looking at Craig Elo. Elo's only scored 4 points, but Elo with 4 assists, 4 steals, and he's hounded Jordan into 5 of 19 shooting from the field.
But you see, he's got to get in and contest Michael a little better now, Bob, because that's Michael's 7th offensive rebound.
So it was Elo's 4th personal. Purdue from the court. Brandon stole the rebound from Pippen. Purdue missed a shot, and now Scott Williams will come in to replace him. Quick trigger from Phil Jackson. Pippen hit the floor hard.
Well, a foul? No, he's out of bounds.
Purdue's
out of bounds. Now you see, once again, the double team, the diagonal pass. They passed down inside, but Williams did not get the job done.
We're talking about the slippery floor.
Yeah. Oh, my.
That had to hurt, as they say in wrestling.
Any player who's ever played on slippery floors knows what a disaster this is. Especially at playoff time to have this kind of condition. Oh, you can't miss
Jordan Williams, he missed it, but he's looking to take it back up.
And then a turnover.
It away to Brad Doherty. Here is Brandon looking for Elo down on the baseline.
Williams, unfortunately, 2 mistakes. Missed the layup, compounded, turnover.
And to Doherty over Williams and Purdue.
See, every player in high school and college should be made to learn to jump hook. If you notice, he's played perfectly. He just negates it with a little jump hook. They're so good tonight in the passing lane, Bob. They've done a terrific job in pushing the offense out, further out. No easy shots.
And Armstrong was bothered on that shot by Brandon. Cleveland making a statement here tonight. Call us soft, will you? They're saying. Chicago only shooting 30% in this ballgame. Bill Cartwright out with a strained back.
You got to get it down in there now. You're inside of 3 seconds here.
2, 1. That would have counted. Purdue comes away with it to Armstrong. Jordan continues his struggles tonight.
Bob, they're doing a much better job on the lane coverage, if you notice. They're just shielding them to either go to the baseline or to keep them out of the lane, and it's working tonight.
Doherty finds the open man
out
of the double team. Jordan is only 5 of 20 tonight, by the way.
You know what Nance said? I'm not passing Williams the ball. I've given him 2 chances down here. I'm taking my J. You think he said that really?
I never said it, but it's chancy.
Yeah. See, they can't get into the lane. See, they've been doing a very nice job.
Purdue to Jordan for the jam. That's one way Michael can increase his shooting percentage. Only 6 field goals in this game. Jordan does have 18 points. Craig Hodges and Mike Sanders will be into the ball game for Chicago and Cleveland respectively in just a moment. Bulls held to under 50 points, and that's right, we're approaching the end of the 3rd quarter.
Big thing here for Cleveland. no turnovers from now to the end of this quarter. You only have 59 seconds. Could be 2 offensive chances for you. The big thing is to get a shot or get fouled. Do not turn it over, especially now in the backcourt. Terrell Brandon is going to be double teamed here now by Pippen. Can't get a turnover here now.
And they got it. Pippen is fouled.
Anytime Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan are pressing you, you cannot get cute. You get cute and fall asleep on a reverse move, they just take you. Now you're going to see it right here. See, you got a bad bounce, all right? But you can't. You just have to take Armstrong. Take Armstrong strong. Do not dribble into the double team.
Scottie Pippen with only 10 points tonight. He and Jordan were the show, along with an assist from Grant and Cartwright in game number 1. As John Battle gets in for Cleveland, Elo sits down.
Well, you know, you have to give Pippen his due. He not only scored 20 points this year, he had 7 assists. He led the team in assists, and he also led the team in rebounding. Now, when you consider that a small forward had over 7 rebounds, that is terrific for that position.
Cleveland ball. Chicago's going to offer some token pressure here. 25-point Cavs lead. Ten to shoot.
Staying within, running all their options.
Doherty with a nice move. He got Scott Williams airborne, and he committed the foul.
What I like about Doherty is he always checks the clock. He did it on a possession about 3 possessions ago. He just has that knack, and that's what he did there. He exhausted 2 defenders. And I made a mistake before. Grant was the leading rebounder on his team with 10. Pippen was second with 7.7. Almost 8 rebounds for a small forward.
Brad Doherty with 22 in the game. He said the toughest thing on this trip for him so far was the day off and all the shopping malls around the hotel. He hit him hard.
Hey, a tough compliment by Wayne Embry. He has the IQ of Bill Russell, passing ability of Bill Walton, Alvin Adams. He's as strong as Wilt, and he's got the base like Wes Unseld. And he has low post moves like Kareem. A pretty strong statement by your general manager.
Then why isn't he making $7 million a year?
But when I said Wayne didn't talk about that part, did he?
I want to be his agent. Chicago with the turnover. Armstrong threw it out of bounds as he tried to thread the needle. 27-point lead by the Cavs. 10 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Have to watch for a high pick and roll now with Doherty.
Brandon couldn't get it away. 77-50 at the end of 3. A 17-point quarter for Chicago. The Bulls were to outscore Cleveland 40-13 this quarter, we'd have a tie game in overtime.
I like your logic there. But let's look at the Bulls, 14, 19, and 17. Michael struggling, but definitely under the weather. You just look at the points and then the field goal percentages. It's just amazing. They're relying on Pippen and Jordan to get it done tonight. But remember, the Bulls, as much as they talk about this offense, still only had 3 guys average double figures during the year and 3 guys average double figures in the playoffs.
5 to shoot. Williams on the drive throws it out of bounds. It was knocked out by Chicago with 2 on the clock.
Everyone is having difficulty dribbling the ball right now.
Nothing but a buzz here in Chicago Stadium. Normally, it's a very loud roar. Doherty got the shot up. Sanders rebounded. And Doherty tipped it in.
Left-handed. Beautiful. Beautiful move. Now, they're going basically with their second unit right now. Big thing for the Cavs. Now, you must pay attention. No one can fall asleep. Second unit. You've got to take advantage of these guys.
Scott Williams misses the jumper. Loose ball foul on Chicago.
Well, Livingston over the back that time. See, this group, they hustle. This group that's out on the floor. Purdue, Livingston, and Williams are excellent offensive rebounders. So when that shot goes up, Cleveland's got to take care of the board. Just block out, no second shots.
29-point lead for the Cavs.
See, with this group out there, the two scorers basically are Battle and Doherty. And also Terrell Brandon.
31-point lead. That's the biggest of the game for the Cavaliers. The fans here, some starting to head for the exit with 10:40 to go in the game. Michael Jordan is on the bench.
Now that's the way to send it home. That's the way to send it home. That was a two-hand stuff up over the top of Doherty.
Purdue's first points of the night.
Cleveland has definitely had better ball movement. That was Lenny's #1 priority. Better ball movement, so we just do not have all 5 guys standing around.
Doherty goes in almost uncontested. And Brad Doherty has 28. Remember, Bill Cartwright's on the bench. He strained his back in the first half. Nice save by Williams to battle. Ahead to Brandon.
Nice pass. Nice.
To Sanders.
Smart. He saw Purdue coming down, wanted to eliminate the shot clock. They're calling timeout. Lenny, a very happy guy. See, you know what you like about Lenny? You can never tell whether Cleveland is up or down. Right now, just look at him. Very somber, just moving along.
Lenny Wilkens, you were making a comment about Lenny, his poise, his experience, one of the great coaches in the history of the NBA.
Well, there it is right there, and you can see he has a real shot at catching Auerbach. And Lenny is already in the Hall of Fame as a player. He was only on 9 All-Star teams in 15 years. He's been a coach in the league for 19 years. And this guy right here has made himself more noticeable because of his defense tonight. He's been out denying in the passing lanes like I've never seen him play this way before.
Hot Rod Williams has 10 points and has played an outstanding game. B.J. Armstrong drops the jump shot. 9:21 to go in this ball game. It would be a miracle to see Chicago come back, and you simply don't feel it. Jordan playing with a fever tonight, not feeling well. He was even resting right prior to tip-off.
See, a thing that you learn when you go from one series to another, especially when you're on the road, is some of the sets and plays do not work that you used in maybe your first 2 series. And I think that's what happened also in Game 1 here. It kind of shook them up to turn the ball over as many times as they did in that first quarter, and it started track meet going to Chicago's offensive end of the floor. But now you can see they're more under control tonight. They're taking their time. They're really working their offense, milking the clock. And I do think that Doherty tonight will get more than 13 shots.
6 points for Armstrong, and he'll have an opportunity for 7. Tomorrow night, we'll conclude TNT's coverage of the 1992 playoffs with the Blazers at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. Blazers with a 2-0 lead in that series, but you can pretty well count on a very good performance from Utah when they get back home.
Isn't it interesting how Porter had a great game, 41 points. Drexler gets 36, 12 rebounds, 6 steals, 6 assists, 3 blocks, and he hardly gets any mention in any article across the country.
Just routine. 89-57 Cavs, 8:39 to go in this ball game. That foul was on B.J. Armstrong. Mark Price came in and just exploded in the first half. He spent a lot of time on the bench here in the second half, resting. Brandon is playing for him. Price has 23 points. And his services really aren't needed at the moment.
Plenty of time.
Purdue with a rebound.
Price was magnificent. I think he stunned them making the 4 threes.
Loose ball foul on Hot Rod Williams over the back of Livingston. That's 4 on Williams. With the intensity we've seen in the playoffs so far, this is my 7th Chicago Bulls playoff telecast, and I don't know who these guys are on the floor tonight.
I mean, you got to give Cleveland all the credit. They really came out, set the pace, stung them with their perimeter shooting, did a good job in ball movement, and no turnovers.
Ferry with the rebound and the turnover. The Bulls came out of this game tonight talking about what happened. Missed their first 13 attempts from the floor, and it took 8 minutes and 14 seconds for their first field goal.
If they didn't have the 13-second shots for 15 points at halftime, you know, it almost would have been a shutout. Fairly close. They continue to get them to miss the open shots, but they keep making the second shot.
Nice pass, Purdue down to Hodges. He couldn't hit it, but Jordan tipped it in. Cavs by 30.
Lenny said, take your time, run your options, get your high percentage shots. Let's go 1-1. Nice.
Ferry with the rebound. Good pass out of the trap. And Brandon setting it up now. Cleveland playing with a great deal of confidence as they know their 30-point lead is not going to go away, and they're going to get would be one-on-one when they head back into Cleveland. Battle over Purdue. Jordan with rebound. Hodges can't even hit the three. He's the leading active player in the playoffs with 3-point attempts coming into the game. He was 9 of 15. But he's not dropping it tonight either.
See, they're looking for Battle to be a big scorer for him here. He averaged 13 last year at Atlanta. This year at Cleveland, 10 a game, and he's an explosive player.
Dutch boy in the paint. Talk about a reversal from game 1 to game 2.
Now, if they were not getting the 21 offensive rebounds, come on, how many points would they have scored tonight? But down here is a big story. Guardy naturally is on fire. The Bulls centers, you can see the production. In game 1, the Bulls centers had 18 points and 14 rebounds.
Bulls missed their first 13 shot. Cavs outshoot them by 21%. Doherty and Price were explosive, particularly in the first half. Jordan and Pippen have struggled all night long. Once again, not to belabor it, but Michael Jordan playing with a sore throat and a fever. Mark Price really set the tone for Cleveland tonight. And Bobby Hansen, a Chicago crowd favorite, finally gets some playing time here. He's had very little because Craig Hodges is the other off guard, and Hansen rarely gets into the ball game.
I'm really kind of surprised here, not by the score right now. I honestly thought, because of their great defense, that Chicago would come out, pick up full court, or also trap at half court. But also, if I'm Phil Jackson, I don't like the game conditions here. I don't like the floor conditions. So maybe I do not want my starters here slipping and sliding, especially at the side to the right here of your screen. That's where most of the guys are falling down.
These conditions could continue throughout the playoffs too, because the Blackhawks are staying alive in the Stanley Cup. People are talking about the first time in history an opportunity for 2 teams, an NBA team and an NHL team, to win championships. The Bulls not thinking about a championship tonight. They're thinking about how to come back against Cleveland at Richfield Coliseum when they play on the weekend. Cavs have a 30-point lead. Token pressure from the Bulls. John Battle from Williams. Now Cleveland finding themselves open for shots as they spread the floor. The Bulls are scrambling. We've got 6 minutes of garbage time coming up here. Bobby Hansen missing, Williams rebounding. I think the Bulls may have been lulled a little bit by the lack of effort and intensity from Cleveland in game 1. The Bulls were talking about how nice it was to play basketball and not worry about the intense physical game that they got from New York, and how it was great to play against guys who helped them up off the floor. Cleveland changed that attitude and changed their intensity. And now the Bulls are staring at the wrong end of a 33-point deficit.
It isn't like they came out and knocked them around, because if they did, we would not see 21 offensive rebounds. But what they've done is they played the passing lane and they denied the flash posting, which is a main part of their offense when they reversed that basketball. They extended the lanes and they kept them outside of the paint.
Bobby Hansen from Stacey King. Amazing the number of empty seats here in Chicago Stadium. People heading out of here already. They started leaving with about 11 minutes to go in this quarter. Livingston with the block, but first the foul.
Now, last year, James, who's going to the foul line right now, had an awful lot of playing time. They played him at the small forward position. He's an excellent three-point shooter, and he really received an awful lot of minutes. But this year, when Mike Sanders was picked up, Sanders played with Cleveland in '89, became a free agent, moved over to Indiana, and then was waived this year. When Cleveland picked him up, then no one else gets minutes at that position other than Hot Rod Williams when he comes into the ballgame. And Sanders does a good job. Lenny said he's a perfect subordinate type of a player. He plays good defense. He runs the floor. He can end the fast break for us, and we don't have to worry because he's a solid defender.
Stacey King misses, but is fouled. Coming up after this ball game, inside the NBA, Doc Rivers will join Fred Hickman. They'll have scores and highlights from tonight's action. That's coming up next on TNT. Right after this game is over, 4 minutes 55 seconds remain in the blowout here. The Cavaliers hammering Chicago. Up until tonight's game, the Cavaliers had beaten Chicago only 2 times in 17 games. Once when Jordan didn't play, and the other game by only 1 point.
That's a big stat right there. Now, Stacey King, you know, he's had an interesting year. A guy only plays 16 minutes a game. He shoots 57%. He gave them 7 points a game, you know, with the second unit all year long. They jerked around his time up and down because they were playing Purdue there and also Williams. This young guy right here who shot that shot, he's got a nice career ahead of him. He's blazingly quick with the basketball.
Hodges can't find the range at all tonight.
Come on!
Ferry with the rebound. Clock down to 4:18, and the series goes to Cleveland on the weekend.
Who would have thought players 8 through 12 would be on the floor for Cleveland with 7 minutes to go working their way down? I mean, think about that a second.
Danny Ferry has 4 points. The Livingston inside to King, tipped away by Brandon. Battle with the ball, and Cleveland on the break. James is fouled by Livingston. Henry James.
Henry James, terrific range, really great range. And when you think this young man weighed 260 pounds in high school and was a great football player. Went to college, slimmed down, became an outstanding basketball player, played overseas. I think he played in Spain, one of the countries that he played in. Slimmed down, became an offensive force. Gave them good minutes at that small forward position.
Stacey King with the careless pass out of bounds and belonged to the Cavs. 99-66. The biggest playoff defeat in Bulls history is 29 points, and right now they trail by 33.
You put your guys in now. You just want them to share the basketball, be unselfish, make the extra pass. Nice.
The lowest point total, by the way, speaking of records, the Bulls have ever scored in the playoffs is 72. B.J. Armstrong is fouled. The Bulls have a great chance to break that envious record.
B.J. Armstrong had a terrific year. He's really grown. He received more minutes this year. He and Paxson shared the spot. He played 23 minutes a game for them during the year, averaged right at 10 points, shot a good percentage, really picked up his defensive play.
And Bobby Phills has checked in, number 14 for Cleveland. He is the rookie from Southern. One of the 2 rookies on the Cleveland squad as you take a look at a dejected Chicago bench. Cartwright strained his back. We have not had any further word on the severity of the injury to Bill Cartwright, but obviously as the Bulls try to repeat as world champions, that will be a significant news story tomorrow, the severity of the injury to Bill Cartwright.
Well, in game 1, we tried to bring out the point that we have 2 excellent road teams here. In the league this year, only 6 teams had a winning record on the road. Cleveland had the 5th best, and Chicago had the best road record. So, you know, you expect them to win on the road. And I like what Lenny Wilkins said, and that is, hey, once you get past the first round of the playoffs, the good teams can always win on the road because they have outstanding talent, and if they play together, their defense and their offense mesh, they can get one.
The Chicago Bulls on their way to their worst playoff loss in history with 2:48 to go, and the Bulls' big three have really struggled. You see the season average and playoff average coming into tonight's ball game.
And tonight, between them, 42 points, 16 for 46.
DJ Armstrong now has 10. 32-point Cleveland lead. Biggest loss ever by the Bulls in the playoffs, a 29-point loss. That's the only thing in question here at the moment. Turn missing, Livingston rebounding. Stacey King over Danny Ferry. King has 11 off the bench. Two minutes to play. Mercifully. Bills is fouled on the drive.
You love to see your bench guys come in, stay within the offense, make the extra pass, drive to the lane hard. And they're doing a nice job at the Cleveland end.
Portland has a 2-0 lead over Utah in the Western Conference Championship Series, and we'll have Game 3 in the West Finals tomorrow night. Ron Poole and Doug Collins will have that game for you, and I'm sure Horace Grant will enthusiastically be checking that out.
That's right. You know, we tried to make that point at the top. You're only down 1-0. You get beat by 40 points, it's still only one loss. Tonight you leave here, you came into Chicago trying to steal one game, and you got it very impressively. You really outplayed them in every category that there is, except taking care of your defensive board.
Foul on Ferry, and Stacey King will shoot the free throw. Hubie, I ask you the tough question. I mean, you coached so many years in the NBA. How can you explain a world championship team like the Bulls delivering a performance like this tonight? Yes, Cleveland played well, but the Bulls have been absent.
Yeah, but you know, I remember in the playoffs, it was in the mid-'80s in Boston. Los Angeles came in game 1, and I do believe in the finals, Boston beat them by 40 points. Everyone was saying this is going to be a romp. The very next game, what happens? LA wins the ball game, and then you have a great series going.
Just how do you figure? No way to figure it.
Absolutely. That's why you play the games, and what you try to do when you get beat and you play poorly, you do not try to aggravate by slinging mud, by making wild accusations, or just degrading the opposition. This team in blue, what we said at the top, 57 wins. That's all Portland had was 57, and everyone's saying that Portland's going to play Chicago in the finals.
The Bulls were talking about Cleveland after the Game 1 victory as though they were going to get a walk in the park. Lenny Wilkins talked to his team about it, said frankly it bothered him.
Yeah, and you know, here's a man last year, his team, they improved from last year to this year 24 games. Now the closest to that were 3 teams with 14 wins and 14 more wins. So he has made an incredible coaching job in Cleveland this season. And I'm just happy for him because of all of the negative stuff which has been written here in the paper for the last couple of days and the idiotic statements that were made. It's just nice to see them even the series. And now let's see what happens, you know, when they go at it the next 5.
Cavs by 30. Bobby Hansen will go to the line with 42 seconds to go in the ball game. On behalf of all of us at TNT, this will be Hubie's and my final telecast of the 1991-92 season. We started back in early November and have been through a lot of ball games, a lot of cities in the NBA. I'd like to thank our executives and our production staff for an excellent job once again covering the NBA on TNT this year. remaining in the game. 10 on the clock. Bobby Hansen out to B.J. Armstrong. Armstrong is just lighting it up. He has 14 fourth-quarter points. Unfortunately, nobody else has been. It's a 28-point margin now. And the Bulls have a chance here to avert having their worst playoff loss in history. And they're going to do that. It's now a 26-point margin. The Bulls' worst loss was 29 to the Bucks. This one is going to be over, and the Bulls will be glad to lick their wounds. Lenny Wilkins did a masterful job of adjusting, getting his team to come back out and play the game they've played so well that gave them 57 wins in the regular season. 107-81 over the Chicago Bulls. The game really got started very well when Mark Price came out and set things up so very well by delivering the ball, handling it well, and particularly handling the pressure from the Chicago Bulls full-court trapping defense. We're going to get Mark Price to join us here at our courtside table and talk about this Cleveland comeback from the shellacking they took in the first game of the series. And Lenny Wilkins talked to the team and had you guys ready to play. And Mark Price, first of all, congratulations on the win tonight. But tell us about coming back off of a game you scored only 89 points in your team, a lot of turnovers. You and Doherty even had some early turnovers in that ball game. Yet tonight you come back and have this kind of performance. How did you do that?
Well, I think there were a lot of extenuating circumstances the first game. Not only us, but Chicago. Both of us came off a 7-game series, very emotional game 7s, and we had to travel the next day, come to Chicago, and honestly, we just didn't have it last game. We got, I think, a little bit maligned unfairly because of that game, and you know, we got guys with a lot of character on this team. You know, people haven't been really giving us the respect that we feel that we deserve, and we wanted to come out tonight and show that we belong in the Eastern Conference Finals, and that we're a very good basketball team.
Well, you definitely did all of that. All right, but I'm afraid to touch you here because you might still be on fire. I mean, you were running here on that one fast break, 2-on-2. You just stopped and shot a 3. I mean, did you just feel it? Did you have it before the game, or when did it hit you?
Well, after I hit my first couple of shots, sometimes you get in a little bit of a zone out there. And first half, I really felt that every time I let it go, it was going to go in. So sometimes that happens, and unfortunately, it's not like that all the time. But, you know, we were able to come out and really play well in the first half. It's probably the best half of basketball we've played.
How about the defense? Did you do any major adjustments to your original game plan?
Well, the first game, we did a lot of switching on picks and things of that nature, and it got us a little bit in trouble with Brad getting caught out on Michael and Scotty a lot. And tonight, we did more trapping in that situation and tried to make them give the ball up somewhat, which worked a little bit better for us.
Mark, coming off your major reconstructive surgery, you must have some feeling of satisfaction coming back, not only yourself but with the team. How do you feel about that comeback the way you have this quickly? You obviously have your speed and quickness back.
Well, you know, we're very excited to be here. It's very sweet to us right now because the last couple of years have been rough. We've had a lot of injuries, and it's been a situation where about 3 years ago we felt we were at the point of really making a move in this league, and the injuries set us back. But this year everybody's somewhat healthy for the first time, and we feel like you know, we're able to show people what kind of basketball team we are.
Mark, game 3 in Cleveland, home crowd, one of the noisiest buildings, right along with this one. You know, what can we look forward for?
Well, we just hope we can keep the fans in the game. Unfortunately for them tonight, we were able to take the fans out early, which helps. And believe me, the people in Cleveland have been waiting a long time for something like this, and they're going to be loud.
Mark Price, congratulations on you and the Cavaliers for your victory tonight. It's even at 1 apiece. You go back to Richfield Coliseum.
Well, we're excited about it.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks
Price.
again, Mark.
23 points tonight, and Mark didn't even play very much in the fourth quarter because of the blowout that was underway. 107-81. The Cavaliers get the Chicago Conference Finals at 1 game apiece. We'll be back in just a moment.
Back in our Atlanta studio, Ernie Johnson, Dick Versace. The final was 107-81. Cleveland evens the series with the Chicago Bulls. How'd that happen?
Well, what you got is you got a team that won 57 games during the year, and I think Chicago just forgot about that. They came out with too much swagger. They had too much trash talking in the paper about how easy it was and how tough New York was, and they forgot. This is a team filled with great athletes who not only step it up and play on the defensive end too.
Well, Cleveland takes the home court edge away. Are they in the driver's seat, or are they kind of sharing that with Michael and the guys now?
No.
How's it stand?
EJ, I just don't think you're in the driver's seat ever with Chicago. I mean, the one thing, though, that I think is and that is that Chicago likes to play within their offense. And 67 times during a year, they've got wins, you know, and we're in a huge comfort zone. Yeah. New York took them out of that. And now Cleveland for the first time in this series. Now, they may have discovered something. I think you better look for Chicago to make some serious adjustments to being able to play against teams that can force them out of the triangle offense.
Now in the West, Portland and Utah playing Game 3 tomorrow night. The man here has already guaranteed 2 Utah victories at the Delta Center to tie this thing up.
Again, Utah, a team that won 55 games. Portland rolls in there and says, hey, look, you know, we're just going to win this series and get out of this thing 4-0 or 5-1. No way. This is a very proud team. They're the best record at home, 37-4, I believe, in the entire league. They're awesome. The Delta Center is louder than Chicago Stadium, louder than, you know, where the Memorial Coliseum.
Hey, this place was louder than Chicago Stadium.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was a very loud place. What did you say this place reminded you of?
Like nothing I've ever experienced before, I think is what it is. Inside the NBA comes your way next here on TNT. What a smooth segue that was. Fred Hickman, always good to talk to Fred, did that earlier tonight. And Doc Rivers, and I'll have a conversation with Terry Porter. Tomorrow night, our final TNT playoff telecast of the playoffs. The Blazers and the Jazz tomorrow night, tipping it off at 8 o'clock here on TNT. For Dick Versace, I'm Ernie Johnson. The Bud Player of the Game comes your way when we send you back to Chicago. We'll see you tomorrow night, folks.
So the Cleveland Cavaliers lost the first game by 14 points. Who'd thought they'd be up in total points by 12 after game number 2? But that's the situation as Cleveland beats Chicago 107-81. The Bulls missed their first 13 shots of the game from the floor. Took them 8 minutes and 14 seconds to get their first hoop, and it was over then.
Yeah, the defense was outstanding, and it allowed Cleveland, surprisingly, to get out in the open floor. Price has a perfect half. Doherty chips in, dominates the interior play, and then they hold on. They hold serve, you know, in the second half, did an excellent job. So you have to give them all the credit. They overcome a lot of negative publicity, and you have to be very happy for them. They rose to the occasion. They proved, hey, that's why we win 57, baby.
It's our final TNT telecast this year. It's been great working with you and Doug Collins again. Both cute tears dripping here. Hubie and I are going to just keep showing up, though. They can't cut us out of this. And we're having too good a time for this to end. The bad news for the Chicago Bulls, we just want to add as we go off here, is Bill Cartwright strained his back in the first quarter, did not play in the second half. We don't know the severity of that injury, but the Bulls would be in a lot of trouble even if he doesn't miss games, but has a little bit of an injury problem. So we'll report on that later on, and I'm sure we'll have NBA and certainly in tomorrow night's telecast. So for Hubie Brown, this is Bob Neal telling you that our player of the game is Mark Price, who came out on fire, hit his first 4 three-pointers before missing one of them, ended up with 23, 21 in the first half, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and Mark Price set the tone early. Brad Doherty also had a big night with 28 points, 9 rebounds. Tomorrow night, the Portland Trail Blazers take on the Utah Jazz at the Delta Center. Coming up next on TNT, Inside the NBA with Fred Hickman and Doc Rivers. For Hubie Brown, this is Bob Neal saying good night from Chicago Stadium.